After 2-3 weeks of intense speculation, rumors, the most talked about event, which should have been the most happiest event in the lives of Smriti Mandhana and Palash Muchhal, well, now it has come to a conclusion. The chapter has now been closed. Officially, Smriti Mandhana has released a statement, and the gist, and which Harshit will explain in further detail. Straight out, folks, the wedding has been called off.
And this just puts everything to bed. There was a lot of speculation happening. There were all sorts of conspiracy theories doing the rounds on social media. The cricketer has now come forward and taken to her social media platform, Instagram. And on her Instagram story, if you go ahead, this is what you will see. Let me very quickly read out what exactly is it that Smriti Mandhana has said to all her followers as she asked for privacy in such a distressful time for both the families as it may be. She goes ahead and says that over the past few weeks, there's been plenty of speculation around my life, and I feel it is important for me to speak out at this particular time. I'm a very private person. I would like to keep it that way, but I need to clarify that the wedding, and here's the operative part, is called off. Further goes ahead and says that I'd like to close this matter here and implore all of you to do the same. I request you to please respect the privacy of both the families and allow us our own space. Also goes ahead and says that she believes there's a higher purpose driving us all, and for her, it has been representing the country. She wants to continue to keep her focus and win more laurels and get more trophies for the nation. She thanks us, thanks the fans for all the support, and it's a time to move forward is what she says. Pretty much very simply, very clearly, very succinctly being put by the Indian cricketer, who must for sure have gone through a torrid time navigating through the challenges of such a distressful period. Remember, her father also fell ill, and then comes this news of things not working out with Palash Muchhal. Both the families, I don't know what exactly is it that went wrong. We've done a separate story. I don't want to reiterate about the rumors that were doing the rounds, because
in fact we did separate stories.
Yes, we did separate stories as well. You can go ahead, check those out, but again, we don't have the exact details from the family as yet. In fact,
even Palash
Muchhal also, breaking news, Palash Muchhal also has taken to Instagram. This is also his story. Take a look at what Palash has also said. So that, why don't you go ahead and talk us through what exactly
he says. Immediately after Smriti Mandhana has put out a statement, Palash Muchhal has also given out a statement on his Instagram and social media handles saying, I have decided to move on in my life and step back from my personal relationship. It's been very difficult for me to see people react so easily on baseless rumors about something which has been most sacred to me. It's the most difficult phase of my life, and I have to deal with it gracefully, holding on to my beliefs. I truly hope we as a society learn to pause before judging someone based on unverified gossip, whose sources are never identified. Our words can wound in ways we may never understand. So clearly at this point in time, he's just decided to move on and step back from personal, but he's taken a big dig at all the outlets who peddled rumors, who took in certain sources, who took in certain quotes, passed it on as hearsay. And then while we think about these things, many people in the world are facing drastic consequences. My team will be taking strict legal action against those spreading false and defamatory content. Thank you to everyone who has stood by me with kindness in this tough time. So he's going the extra mile.
You do see, while there is no indication of any legal action per se from Smriti Mandhana's team or from the concerned athlete over here, but Palash Muchhal of the opinion that he wants to take strict action against those who may have published stories that weren't, or that were away from the truth, that didn't hold enough merit. I also want to point out one thing, and that's the hurt possibly that the Muchhal family may have gone through. He says that our words can wound in ways we may never understand. You get the sentiment, you understand where the two are coming from. But let's also not forget one thing over here, that for the last 2 weeks, the relationship was just getting more chilly. That you had
It was in a
seen-
limbo, if you may have to look at
it was in a limbo, as Siddharth says, and the series of events. Let's try and track things down over here. Look at the series of events. We saw those pictures. It looked like a happy time. India had just won the World Cup. Palash Muchhal had just days ahead of the wedding proposed to Smriti Mandhana. We see Smriti Mandhana put that story out as well. Then there was another one with all her teammates. That also we saw, where they did perform a scene from one of the Bollywood movies. I think it was from Munna Bhai MBBS,
Yes.
where they do a little scene as well. Jemima Rodriguez was there. There were others around as
Shefali
well.
Verma, Shreyanka Patil, all were there.
And why this announcement doesn't surprise me is because all the social media activity that we were seeing in the build up to the wedding and during the course of the wedding, all of that had suddenly just vanished into thin air. Smriti Mandhana takes down the couple of posts about the wedding related posts, not the wedding post. I know she did not put any wedding pictures, but she did put the proposal video out. She did put that Bollywood gig that I'm talking about, that Bollywood scene, that was also put on a social media platform. Those things were taken down. Jemima Rodriguez stops following Palash Muchhal. Then there is Shefali Verma as well, who stops following him. With all of this happening, you knew there is something between the two families that's not going well. This cannot just be an indefinite postponement of the wedding, as we were told initially. We chose not to speculate back then. We are choosing not to speculate right now as well. We don't know what happened. Yes, there were certain rumors, and we've put out those rumors as well, not adding to those rumors. These are things being talked about on Reddit. These are things being talked about on Twitter, and we just put out those. What those are, I'm not going to be again adding fuel to the fire and lighting up those rumors all over again. Not our time. But you saw this coming, because all of that did make some sense. It wasn't just happening for nothing. The unfollowing, the removing of posts, that wasn't happening for no purpose. There was a purpose. Definitely things were going sour between the two families. Smriti Mandhana's father had to be taken to the hospital. Palash also briefly had to be taken to the hospital the following day. We were given to believe from the Muchhal family that that there may be a time in the future that the wedding comes back on track. Palash Muchhal, I think, if I get the name right, sister of Palash Muchhal, also went ahead and released a statement asking for privacy at the time, but she also then made a public statement saying, stop speculating, nothing's confirmed, we're still talking, giving hope that perhaps the marriage talks are still on. But if you just, given the timeline that I just drew over here for you, if you just take a moment, step back and look at all these instances, then you knew that this was perhaps the writing on the wall. This is perhaps what she said. These are in fact the pictures that I was just alluding to. These are pictures from the iconic D.Y. Patil Stadium. Look at the choice of the venue for the proposal. This was supposed to be something that lasts eternally, as eternal as was the joy of India winning the World Cup at this very stadium. Look at the choice of the venue as well for the proposal. Both of them looked extremely happy back then, but certainly things have gone south with the two of them, and which is why Smriti Mandhana and Palash Muchhal both deciding to come forward, put the speculation to bed, and say that the marriage has been called off.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. I mean, initially with Srinivas Mandhana getting hospitalized and then the wedding getting postponed, the one spark of fire that started was that Reddit post. Now, how legitimate can Reddit posts be? I really don't know at this stage. But then it did snowball. There were several things, several choreographers were like, oh, I'm not that individual who was involved. I'm not that person who's been spoken about. What were the rumors? Why did this come into a thing? Remember, Smriti Mandhana is a very private person. I think we will never come to know the full story. I think neither Palash, neither Smriti will talk about it openly.
Again, it's their prerogative.
Yeah.
It's their prerogative to decide what is the right time for us to know what the real story is. But let's be honest about it. It's a private matter when we're not stakeholders. This is not Indian cricket. This is not sport that you and I as fans, as journalists, have a say in this, have a stake in this. Not at all. It's totally their matter. It could be a social media post, it could be in the form of an interview, it could be in the form of a podcast, it may just be in the form of nothing at all. It may just be something that resides between the two families and the near and dear ones, and that's it. And perhaps we don't even deserve to know what may have happened. But for now, what we do deserve to know, we know that now, and that is that the two of them have decided to put an end to their wedding.
Yes.
Remember, many of the functions had already happened. The cocktail function had happened, the Sangeet function had happened, the Mehendi function, the Haldi function. We all saw those pictures. They all looked very, very happy back in time. Perhaps retrospectively, there will be some questions that they'll all have as a family. How those memories will be now for them, perhaps bittersweet. But we just let them be for now. We just let the two families be for now.
It's a tough period.
And navigate through this whole tough time.
It is a tough period. I mean, a marriage being called off, it doesn't help anybody, and the sadness will remain. The repercussions will continue. This is not the end of the matter. As Palash has clearly stated, he is going to take defamatory action against certain entities who have posted defamatory content. So we have not seen the end of this, but one hopes it doesn't transform into something ugly. But yeah, respect Smriti and ensure that yes, her privacy is at least maintained. Let's not further speculate matters, and it is a tough time, and a marriage getting cancelled is nothing good at all.
So let's all come together as we put this stream to an end as well. Let's all hope that the two families over here, the two parties, get the strength, the courage to be able to deal with such a torrid time for them, get through this and come back stronger. We wish them all the very best from Siddharth and I.
Stay strong.
It's bye-bye.
Bye-bye.